Hello everyone, welcome back to Dad's Gaming, ZHP 2004 here, and gonna bring bits and pieces of 5 races in Cycle Division once again. Been running this a lot, but we're going to pretty much highlight, 2 drivers, myself and the person right in front of me here, and we had a heck of a night. To the point where this might even be 2 parts. This is 5 races that we were in, and not a full lobby, but it filled up later on. We got more and more people in, so we have about 6 in the lobby right now. So we kind of floated around anywhere between 5 to 10 racers, but it's okay. We still had some really good battles here, and gonna see if I can get around him. He was definitely quick all night, and yeah, we really battled. But we're gonna start out here with the Celine S7 around Brands Hatch, and we get kind of out of shape through there. Not really a car I've driven a whole lot. Maybe once or twice in the past. I just drive it right off the track. Way to go, me. So I did notice I had my track limit markers on. I actually noticed in a couple of the last videos I've had, markers are on, and it's more so from when I've been running either rivals or lap competitions. It just helps with running the laps, finding the absolute limits of the track. And I've just left them on. At first they kind of bothered me, but not anymore. I kind of just ignore them now when I'm racing. They're really not a distraction. But we're going to come down here to last lap. Going to see if we can try to close up here. Nothing really happened during the race, other than, maybe going off the track once or twice, 3, 4 times, maybe. But we'll finish up here, 2nd place for the first race. And we'll take that and move along to the next race. I did have the fastest lap that race. We started right on the pole in the SUVs around Lime Rock. We got the Nissan Juke, and really good car for this class. This is not the tune for this track. This is a good tune for a track where you have slower corners, maybe like a Yas Marina or Long Beach, where it's very flat, very sharp corners. But the sweepers, this car is just very stiff and very low, to the point where it actually causes me a bit of a problem every lap. And you probably see a little bit of that coming up here. But we're holding on to the lead, and just kind of change the view so I can get a little better shot of where the front of the car is. Got that indicator right behind me. I bottom out coming through there, go wide. And we get bumped by, our buddy there. But something interesting happens. And, this is where the, respect level comes into play. And, you can tell a little bit about the people that you're racing with. So I always, tell you, if you bump somebody, give them the spot back. I did that, last video when at Dubai in the Jag. So I'm kind of making my way around here, and lo and behold, he's waiting up. He's not, losing touch with everybody in front of him, but he pulls over, lets me get by. So A+ move on his part, and we had a lot of respect through the entire race and the entire night, and we're going to cut here, to the last lap. Made up, one position. He got around me. He's up to whereabouts, I guess, second. And we have the Urus in between us. So, pretty stout vehicle. You know, he seems to be keeping pace other than going off track a little bit. So I'm going to get a really good run here. Try to go up the way outside. You don't want to do that. We touch coming through the right-hander up the hill. He gets a good run. And we're going to try to go up the inside, but there's not quite enough room, so I'm going to back out. Come down the hill here where I bottom out. I take it a little easier. Take a late turn in. Get a really good run off the corner. And we're going to drag race it down here to the finish line. And just barely snag third. But, me and Fungus, we actually messaged a lot between the races. And, I thanked him for, giving me a spot, even though, my vehicle wasn't really up to snuff. And here we go. We're starting 1-2. I got this Ford F100 vehicle I drove once before. I just went and grabbed the tune and decided to have at it. Doesn't really know what I was going to be getting into. And so we're going to be battling the Corvette, which is, I think, undoubtedly probably the best handling car in the class, or maybe overall car in the class. But we're going to see if we can hold them off here with the Ford. It's got the acceleration, so I can definitely get away from them on the straights, which there's two of them really. It's just the corners that this truck, no back end grip, as you can see. I'm just holding on for dear life. And gonna get up through here to the chicane onto the front stretch, and you can see that indicator marker glowing orange coming through there, and it goes away coming up down the front stretch. So we're gonna hold him for a couple laps, and do our best and try to defend without being too obnoxious, shall we say. There's a point where you can defend, and then there's a point where you're just, being a road hog. And right now, he's not close enough to really make a move, although I do know, into the braking zones, he's got much better brakes. And we're just going to, do our best to get through as smooth as possible. Well, that's not very smooth. And get as much pace on the straightaways as we can. So I need to get a really good run out of this chicane, which I do not. As you can see, I push a little wide, and his indicator is right there again. So he's not letting up. And part of me is, feeling, he's sizing me up, figuring out where his car is better, which is pretty much everywhere that the road's not straight. So I'm just kind of waiting. There's his indicator again. I go in wide. I was expecting him to go in on me there, but he waited. So we're just going to park it on the inside and get down the short back stretch. And I don't go defensive here. I didn't really think he was going to be close enough to try to make a move, but he does. We touch, and he backs out. I don't know if he felt that maybe he spun me there a little bit, but I gassed it too much and just kind of fishtailed it myself. And we're going to come down through here side by side, and not leaning on each other. We're going to go through the chicane too wide, which normally I probably wouldn't try to do that. But after being in a couple races here, I figured, why not try it? If one of us bumps the other, there's a mature level of racing there where, one of us would give the spot. I go in a little bit, tag him, but he eventually gets by. And we're going to try to do a little bit of a cut back here. The truck just will not hook up. So we're going to see what we can do coming up here to the back stretch. Because I know I got the power, but I didn't get a very good run out of that corner. So we're going to close up a little bit. And then I'm worried that, well, my brakes aren't as good as his, so I get on the brakes early. And really, that kind of does it in for me for this race, because that was really my one shot to really close that gap. And I blew it, for a lack of a better term. So we're going to come back down through the chicane. And again, I get a pretty bad run out of there. And we'll just make our way up to the last lap here. Still finished in second. I'll take that. And we're going to move to Dubai in some good old muscle cars. Very high-speed track. Now I picked the grip tune, and you know, sizing up at what everybody else was driving, which were pretty much cars with speed. Primarily the Horizon, yeah, Forza Edition darts. I grabbed the little Chevy Nova, like I said, with a grip tune, which is really going to pay off, actually. I was really worried going down those straights that these guys were going to leave me. And they had a lot more pace in a straight line. But the Nova it really hung in there. So we'll see how grip versus speed come into play at this track. So we're going to go into the tunnel here, and I get it a little loose, go to correct it, clip the barrier, and I wound up losing my rear bumper over the whole thing. And more importantly, I lose some speed. So I can't afford to lose speed through the corners, because I need to carry that onto the straights. As you can see, I got that indicator right there. I'm moving over to the left. I'm actually going to go to the outside, try to hold him to the inside, make him slow down even more than he wants to, because I can get around these corners a lot faster, and even I go in a little hot. But that's okay. We're going to just move one lane in, and defend a little bit going into the next right-hander. I know he's coming. Again, there's this indicator, but we're going to get around the corner, get pulled out, and carry a little more speed going on this straight. Hopefully it's going to be enough. It was really nerve-wracking for the number of laps that we ran, but in the end, it worked out really well. We got a first place, given there was only, I think, 3 of us at the end there. And the last race for tonight is some NASCAR around good old Watkins Glen. This is the full circuit with no bus stops, so full alternate, I guess you'd call it. And here we go, side by side, turn 1. A little bit of get together there, but that's okay. He definitely again had a speed tune, or more of a speed tune than I had. I had a bit more grip going through these corners, but you're going to see going down this straightaway, he's just going to pull distance. So I'm thinking, well, there goes the whole race. I'm not going to be able to compete with that, but we're going to just run, see how we do. We get down to the corner, and he pushes wide. So I get a pretty good run out of there. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we got some corners coming up. Maybe I can, close this gap up. And I certainly do. And then I get a bit overzealous on the gas. And, spit the back end out a little bit. And coming down to the toe, I'm going to try to get around the corner here. And, again, you're just going to step the back end out. I lose my momentum. Because he definitely had, better acceleration out of the corner. I had, better handling going in and through the corner. So, my best, hopes were, maybe he'll, muck it up a little bit, drive it a little too deep. If I could put a little bit of pressure on him. We're coming down to the, last set of corners. And I get through there pretty darn good. And we're going to jump ahead here. And, we're still close. We're still up there. And, again, he drives a little wide going into that corner. I guess it gives a little better run coming out. I gas a little bit, but he looks like he wound up in the wall or in the grass, and then he drives it in really deep there and gets wide. And so I'm able to, close it up and get close, get right on his bumper. And we're going to come down the front straight here. But again, you can see I can't close. Once we get going in a straight line or out of the corner, he's just got pace. So I'm going to, try to figure something out here. And we're going to, jump ahead probably to the last lap, I think. Yeah, end of the last lap. So we're going to come down the last couple corners here of the race. Still in second. Only 4 guys left, so. But it was a good race, a lot of give and take. But he gets way out of shape up here, you'll see that. And he slows down. And I thought about going past, and I'm like, nah, the way the race is going, I'm going to let him keep that position. I probably could have taken it, it would have been fair. To the point where he tries to give it to me on the front straight before the end of the race, and I got on the brakes and let him have the win, and we talked about it later on. But guys, that's going to do it for this one. Stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have part 2 up before you know it. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.